subscribers.
Who's this track right here from?
Jeff Markey.
This is hard.
Peace. Welcome back. Secret House Against the World. Like, subscribe, and do those things. Tokyo Bass, hip hop, art, and culture conversations, discussions. You can call them album reviews if you want. We don't put numbers at the end of it anymore. We decided that was not something we wanted to do, but we will hit you with some recommendations.
We evolved
at the very end.
Oh, yeah.
You can see our names here at the bottom. Today we are reviewing. This background beat is by
Jeff Markey.
It's hard, actually, man.
Yeah. Jeff Markey on the beats in the background. Pay attention. Do things that you would do for a good friend. Yeah, this album is called Skech185 and Jeff Markey. He left nothing for the swim back. It is 34 minutes. It is 9 songs long. Before we get into the album, since we haven't really discussed Skech or Jeff Markey before on the recording, I almost said podcast.
I heard you.
On a recording, we like to tell you guys how we're familiar with them, how long we've been listening to them, and things of that nature. You guys want to go ahead and
let me get into it. So I thought I was not familiar with the names when you said Skech185 and Jeff Markey, and then when I pulled up Skech185's previous work, he has the album New Age Middle Finger, which has the kind of almost Nirvana style, dead happy face kind of front cover. And I was like, oh, that's mad familiar to me. So I went back and listened to that record, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, I know this. This was something that was recommended to me on Last FM a decade ago.
Last FM, wow.
Yeah, shouts out Last FM.
Man, it's still around? Still in the league?
Yeah, weirdos on the internet, still all about their scrobbling.
Word. War Church, New Age Middle Finger. You guys know that one of my top 10 favorite albums last year was the Joshua Virtue.
Yeah.
Skech makes an appearance on that. Skech has also been on, I think he was on Paraffin. He's on Paraffin.
Oh, he was on Paraffin,
the Arm & Hammer album.
Yep.
But yeah, I've known about him bubbling in the underground independent hip hop scene for quite a long time, but I wasn't really too familiar with his work. When it comes to New Age Middle Finger and the War Church shit, I had those on CD.
Wow.
Like CDR.
Old man.
CDR that I got from the homies way back in the kind of early 10s, I think I want to say. And all my CDs are still at my parents' house back in the States. So I forgot to listen to them until fucking I love his verse on the Joshua Virtue. Yeah. And I was like, man, I wish he would release another album. And here we are. A new album from him on Backwoods Studios.
I hope you don't have those CDs in direct sunlight. They gone.
Nah, they're sitting in an old bag. They're just stacks of CDs in an old bag in my parents' garage.
Make sure they're not sticking together, man. Trust me.
I actually was thinking about bringing them back, and I remember I don't have a CD player in the house anymore.
Do that
so
don't do that.
Plus they're heavy as shit. But
hey man, use them just to decorate the wall. I'll make this quick. Until you just said he was on Paraffin, I thought I didn't know this guy. So this is, I would say, my first time stepping foot into Skech's music. You want to go into what we like about this?
Well, we should also talk about Jeff Markey. Jeff Markey is a producer.
Jeff Markey. I didn't know about that guy either. I make it easy.
He's been working with Billy Woods and Elusive for quite a long time. I think he has a beat on race music and let me see. What are there? He's got a few on also Half Measures, and so he's got a few different projects out. I'm not super familiar with his work, as I said on the last review. I'm terrible with remembering who does production on some of these albums. But yeah, man, Jeff Markey's dope. Beats in the background right now. Skech185. Let's do it, guys. So what do we feel about this?
Can I do it?
Do you want to go into it?
Yes. Thank you for introducing me to this album. Dead ass.
Love to hear it.
It was creative, innovative, and not in a pretentious way. It actually hits all the marks. It reminds me so much of a blaxploitation movie. When I'm listening to it, I just feel like I see Truck Turner or Shaft going down the alleys trying to get the bad guys. Mm-hmm. Everything about this album was just well done. The lyrics are just pronounced. The flows are solid. And once again, the track making. Tracks I wish I could make.
Is that right?
Yeah, tracks,
is that right?
I don't have, I would like to say I'm creative, but I don't have the wherewithal to take stuff you think that doesn't mix and mix it together and make it mix. and pitch and stuff like that, and that's what's happening on this
I
album.
think that's definitely the most remarkable thing, especially about the beats and the production on here, is that it's esoteric and traditional at
Right.
the same time. It's very well mixed. It's very clean production-wise, even though it is dusty in places. Like it sounds very clear. It separates. I was listening to this album through not great headphones, and I could still, very clearly hear all of the different sounds that are everything going on. But at the same time, it is like weird and kind of experimental and ugly in places even. And yeah, it's like I appreciate that it kind of straddles that line between like a more traditional hip hop record and also something you might expect from, Blackie or Caps with Spaces. Or, someone kind of in that same ilk of like esoteric hip hop electronica. Yeah, production is very, very interesting on here for sure.
I mean, you guys know what I'm gonna say. I absolutely love the album. For me, this captures the spirit and trajectory of New York underground hip hop lineage, and it skips a lot of the neoliberal
Get the bingo card
interpretations.
out.
It's left. I mean, it's left. It's real left.
It's left
left.
as fuck. It's intelligent and it's street in a way that is not built for Cuban links. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
This album
Yes.
to me, like, it is graffiti. It is. I mean, his name is Skech185. I imagine it's because he's a writer, a graph writer. And if you go back, like he even says lines like, "I was born in '85, but feel like '97 just." Shout out to Big Just, Company Flow, Fun Crusher Plus. That's the lineage I'm talking about. And this is like a wild style, boombastic dude who is telling you it's not preachy, but it's real as fuck. And
pretentious at all.
it's some of the most transgressive, radical, confrontational music that I've heard in a while. And it's almost impossible to create music that is transgressive and radical in today's age, because in the contemporary society, it's usually, brandable as an aesthetic.
Yep.
And one of the things I was interested in, and I'm glad that Spade caught the nuance of it, is that somebody might hear this and say, "Oh, this is like a discount Billy Woods, or this is like a discount Elucid," or I mean, it comes out on Backwoods, so the comparisons will be there,
and it's well placed in that label,
right? But this is like, I mean, there is a lineage like this. This is like KDI. This is like Mike Ladd. This is a style and approach, just like New York hand styles look like New York hand styles, but you still gotta freak it and make it original. This is that. Like, to me, this is so vastly different from a Woods album. This is so vastly different from Elusive or Kai or any of these other people that are making music like this. This shit made me fucking want to get back in the gym.
You
This
over there
shit make
cooking
me,
now? Keep cooking.
bro. I mean, like he says, this shit. This music is for niggas that lift weights and read books.
Yep.
We're done, bitch. Welcome.
so hard.
My safe space has a gun in it. I mean, like, there's just, he goes the fuck off. And the production, the first two tracks in particular are very strange.
Yeah.
It's those discordant sounds that come together. And that reminds me of old El Producto type of shit, the shit that was coming out. It reminds me of like Masai Bay, Paper Mache. It reminds me of all these, like, not that it's derivative, but it feels like it's from that ilk. It
It's the
feels
lineage,
hard,
the
bro.
lineage is
Like,
there.
this is the fight your village should have prepared you for.
Oh, that's so hard.
Bro, he
That's a
is
hard line.
fucking ill. This, I'm telling you,
hard line.
like Woods is really, a lot of Woods shit is like, damn, that's smart as fuck. He must read books. This fool seems like he's out there fucking culture jamming and still getting up. This shit is illegal. This shit should not sit well with people who are not familiar with it. This should make you uncomfortable. This shit should confront you and poke you in the fucking eye man, this shit is hard. I fucking love this album.
I don't know how to
cooking.
follow that up.
Cooking over there, man. I'm like, yo,
I'm sorry.
let
You know
nigga
I was gonna get
Oh, yeah,
off
of
on it,
course,
man.
of
But
course.
but like the production, right? If we could just get into the production. I mean, okay. First off, the title of the album. That's from Gattaca.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when he's racing his brother got the good genes. He born like a regular schmuck, and he's just like, fuck it. This time I'm gonna beat his ass because I'm not saving nothing for the swim back. It's a hard title.
Yeah.
And I rewatched Gattaca recently, and that movie is fucking all right. When he's like, I knew that it wasn't you because a person with a left-handed dick doesn't hold their dick with the right hand. You know what I mean? Like, that shit is hard. But yo, this album is just the production. Let me play with it.
I'm saying, you got something you want to say, Jet? Because Jet never got in, man. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. It's good.
I do that a lot.
It's good. I like it. I'm not crazy about his delivery on here. I know why he's done that. I did find it a little jarring or a little grating. Just like, bro, stop yelling at me. And if you go back and
bombastic, yeah.
And you go back and you listen to New Age Middle Finger, like he's not as abrasive on that record. Obviously, that was a decade ago. Like, things change. He's evolved as an MC. But yeah, there was definitely a point where I'm like, okay, an entire album of this is
it's
kind
like a
of
scared straight.
yeah.
Why
Exactly.
you like necklace? Why you like necklace?
Pull my pocket.
But also, that's, the sense of urgency on this record, the things that he's saying, it really does. It kind of reminds me of, like, Busta Rhymes always does, like, there's only 5 years left or whatever, where he's talking about, like, this kind of
What a
end
time.
times.
Yeah, I know, right?
What a time to be alive.
But this is like the actual urgency of this, like, late stage capitalism comes across really, really strongly in here. I actually noticed that Skech's Twitter name is Late Stage Cataclysm, which is pretty funny.
That's hard, yeah.
But also I think suits the tone of this record really, really well.
Yeah. It's urgent. It's urgent and it's critical. I mean, like like a MC Ride, like a Death Grips is like this is kind of what you get. But I also do like the way that at least in the last two tracks, Western Automatic Music Part 1 and Part 2, while you've been hit with, like, the first half of the album is like these really kind of hard discordant beats that shouldn't really work. The last part is a little bit more mellow and especially I'm imagining that's Jeff Markey singing on this one.
Yeah.
What does life think?
I thought this was a really, because it's so, like, in your face the whole time, I thought this was like a nice little kind of low.
Even on
Every time that I blink, whoa. What
Yeah.
do I
It's very nice.
even on earlier points in the album, like on Up to Speed and The River and East Side Summer, there's a lot of, like, beauty in the madness.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
especially, like, on Up to Speed, there's this, like, kind of, I don't know, like, Lydian mode piano, like, little runs, these little drops that are, like, genuinely really, really pretty, but they're also, like, placed among the chaos of the overall production and this very kind of abrasive delivery that Skech is doing.
Also on Up to Speed, that track is kind of he's really it's getting you up to speed on, like, his life and how he got to kind of this point, and not like the most linear fashion, it kind of bounces on things, but it does kind of step back a little bit from the finger in your chest, like, don't be such a little bitch about it.
But the finger's still in your chest,
Yeah.
though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The finger's still in there. It's just a more softer finger.
Yeah, that's
Love.
a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like, figure it out. But this little lull, I love. The features on the album are pretty incredible too. Billy Woods again coming with just the
He
fucking
don't miss.
Billy.
Just don't miss.
Billy has a tendency to kind of, like, outshine you on your own track.
He does better on other folks' tracks, in my opinion. Like,
Okay,
than his
you're
own
more of an
album.
Elucid fan, right?
Yeah, on his own albums, he's like kind of subdued, but he always features well on other folks' albums.
I guess I played it on my phone too. But like even on the song, he says the bag was fantastic damage. I mean, fucking LP's premier solo album. Inelastic markets, smart dumb niggas looking like Stringer Bell in them classes. We know how what happened to Stringer. We know. I mean, Billy is just so vivid.
Watch The Wire.
So vivid, bro. I do love the album, but there are points of the album that I kind of I gotta say that I didn't really love Nights and Weekends. I didn't really love Nights and Weekends.
Why not?
I'm not quite sure. I was expecting a Prim verse because it says Prim is on there, but I think it's just him and Samurai Banana having a conversation is kind of the middle point of the track, which is also a deserved lull in some of the energy. It's a good song, but my man Riff Napalm is on this again.
Still riffed.
He's back. I've heard from him more in the last 6 months than I've heard in the last 6 years. He Yo, he was on the open mic.
Auto-reverse,
Eagle,
Auto
shout
Mic
out.
Eagle, yeah.
I don't know, is Skech from Chicago? Because Rift is a legend. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for the underground heads that kind of know, like Rift, we're always expecting like a full length LP. He had the summer EP years ago, but I'm a huge Riff Napalm. I still call him Riff Napalm. His mama named him Riff. I'm gonna call him Riff. No, he goes by Still Riff now.
Still Riff, yeah.
Still Riff, but he's fucking hard on J Street. Like it's just lovely. It's lovely.
I think you got off everything.
I don't know if I have much more to say, bro. But if somebody tell me this is music for niggas that lift weights and read books, I'm in.
hard.
I'm fucking in.
See, that goes to like the lack of pretentiousness on this album. Like, I'm not trying to beat the pretentious thing to trigger y'all, but I'm saying this to make a point. Like, me listening to this whole album, it came off genuine and it knocked, it slapped, and the topics are great. Like, not pretentious at all. It's tough topics to digest, but you can digest it well because
I don't want to
intent is
get
there.
too bogged down in the what is pretentious discourse or whatever, but I think the album is far too direct to have that criticism level
Yes,
about it, right?
that's what I meant.
You know,
Thank you,
he's
man.
he's really, really coming at you like with the truth, like with
There's
the
not
facts.
enough white girls with Pepsi cans to shield the movement. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the
shield the
Jenners.
whole movement. Like,
Shout out to the Jenners.
hey man, you know what I mean? Like, I agree. He's just ill. Even on Up to Speed, when he's talking about his personal life, the way that he frames things is not like I'm a superhero. He says shit like, I felt like I was wearing an armor of scar tissue, but it was just my cynicism. And it's just like, bro, I feel that. You know what I mean? We get bogged down with that. To me, this is just radical. This is just like personal. It's urgent. It speaks to the way that I experience a lot of the world, the way that I feel about a lot of things. You guys know how frustrated I get with a lot of the things being said in hip hop, and not just even mainstream, but even in underground, independent hip hop. A lot of these cats saying a lot of words and not saying shit. And this
You're not letting go of that
fool
Decca album, are you?
shout out to
Still
all the
not letting
Decca
go.
fans. No, they still be in the comments like,
You guys don't. I think the one guy in the middle is projecting too much of his knowledge into Decca's spiritual definition.
oh, shut the fuck up. But I love you guys. No, but I mean, I don't mean to go off on Decca fans, because I actually went back and listened to more Decca, and I like Decca. I just don't like your fans in the comments. But yeah, it's dope. This album's dope. I'm looking more from Skech. I'm gonna try to pick this up, a physical copy, so I could support this artist. I like to support the artist. They got. You know, I mean, this is on a level, and this is that. I'm black
Backwoods.
this, I'm black
Black
that.
that was hard.
I'm black this, I'm black that. Yeah, me too. The Revolution won't have a laugh track and a guest verse from Black Thought. Oh, shout out to Freestyle Fellowship. I didn't know it was coming on, but hey, they didn't get the Grammy, did they?
I wouldn't know.
Shout out to Backwoods, man. Y'all doing some good work out here. Like, seriously, Billy Woods, your record label is doing some great work out here. Keep it up.
This album really, really places well in that catalog,
Yes.
because it does touch on so many of the themes and ideology that is prevalent in Backwoods, is like, in Billy's and Elucid's music, and all parties affiliated. But at the same time, it doesn't really sound like any of those records.
True that.
But
This-
yeah.
This album does kind of remind me of old, Definitive Jukes, early
Def
Definitive
Jux,
Jukes.
yeah.
There's even a lot of things that they do with his vocals on this that are strange. Like they do a lot of different voice modulations, layering, almost like throwing effects on the voice, which was something that you would hear on the Cold Vein, on Cannibal Ox's first joint. That it's LP experimenting with that. And this album to me was just like so nostalgic, but also so profoundly present
And new,
and new. I there's not anybody that sounds like Skech in terms of the content and the approach, I think. And yeah, man, I'm in.
Yeah, I
I'm
wasn't
fucking
bored
in.
at all.
I'm pleasantly surprised that you enjoy this album as much, just because the style, and not just you, but just because the style is so a lot of people will hear and be like, he's not even rhyming. He's not, you know what I mean?
I
Like
grew up on Gucci Man.
But
What you talking about? No rhyming.
I don't mean to necessarily point at you because I'm only saying that because of the three of us, you skew more towards the conventional.
way more conventional.
While me and Jed are into shit that
Yes.
might even sound bad. You know what I mean? Like
Definitely,
me and Jed are like, yeah, well, I'll listen to this
I'm
album.
like the mix. Y'all like, no, but you don't hear the beauty in this. I'm like, no, because it's mixed terribly.
No, it's supposed to sound like it's being played at 3 doors down. Yeah, and but yeah, this is phenomenal. Who would we? Do we have anything else to say about it?
No, I'm
I think
I'm
you
happy
said
to
it
get
all,
into
man.
it. Yeah.
Shit, I was excited for this, and I didn't even get a lot of time to sit with it. I didn't get to pull as much lyrics that I would like because I heard it was dropping, and then it came out 2 Fridays ago.
Yeah.
After we decided to record, I focused on those 3 albums that we recorded, and then on last Saturday, 3 days ago, when we decided to do this, Sunday's is Sabbath. I got to keep it, swine free, and I just I don't do much on Sundays, so I had 2 days to kind of digest this album, and I already was just like,
Yeah.
it's cold as fuck.
Yep.
Who do we recommend this to?
I recommend this album to. I recommend this album to like my leftist friends who don't do a lot of music by black people.
Word. Yeah. Shout out to those guys.
They need the finger in their chest a little more.
Yeah. Word. Realize what you're missing. What do you guys, Spade?
Yeah, man.
I would recommend this to, I name dropped a lot of artists, so I feel like this is kind of the lineage from. I would recommend this to cats that love Kiki, K the I, cats that love Paper Mache from Masai Bay. I would recommend this to people that fuck with Adlib, Thavius Beck, cats that like Saul Williams, Public Enemy, the Phlegm Modulation Systems, Uncommon NASA. Mega Abusive. I recommend it for cats like that.
What?
Yeah. Subtitle. I recommend it for cats that come from that. This is uncanny hip hop in a very, I don't want to say truest form, but because hashtag real hip hop. but this I would recommend this to fucking Yeska and all the graph writers that I know. Like, this is some real, to me, this makes me want to go out and start getting up again and kind of fucking do some culture jam and some agitprop, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I like that. This is for the radicals.
I was sitting here thinking about this, and during this conversation, my thoughts changed. I would recommend this to people, because I was going to say black exploitation fans, but nah. I'm going to recommend this to people who like Jimi Hendrix and the Grateful Dead. People who do mushrooms and acid drops. Like, this is a type of production that if you're in another world or another type of mind, I think it can elevate you, man. I feel like the production is so close to Hendrix in the sense of like he's doing something new with the same old instrument. So I think that's fitting. But yo, go listen to this album, man. It's probably one of the best works on Backwoods today. So good job, Billy. And
It is.
friends.
Yeah, man, they're just a phenomenal group of artists putting out some of the most critical and important music.
Don't let me
going on
down,
right
Billy.
now, man.
Don't let me down.
Word. Yeah, more Skech185, more Jeff Markey, more Backwoods Studios. Tune in for more Secret House Against the World.
Oh, yo, I'm gonna recommend this to people who like film soundtracks.
Yes. Well,
Oh, but yeah, there we go.
hey, let me get a feature, Billy, in the Lucid. Let me get a feature. Feature on the L Spade track. I'm manifesting this year. Go ahead, hit your boy up. I get a track for you. I even take the drums out for you.
Yeah.
Definitely not getting that
I'm waiting
feature.
for these
Brothers
fools to
on
get to
Spade.
Tokyo again. I'm going to shout out. Farewell.
Peace. Yeah, fuck the alt-right.
This sounds like some Wu-Tang shit.
Yeah, it does kind of have that Wu-Tang vibe to it.